Hi everyone, welcome to Buckle Up Podcast. I'm Natalia Earle and I'm a certified business and life coach that loves talking to people. I'm fascinated by humans and how our brain works. What is it that makes a decision good or bad, and how does that decision ultimately shape our path and destiny? Everyone loves to talk about success, but what about the flip side? How about adversity? Failure is such a big and often necessary part of life, and it's simply unavoidable. So I invite you to join me on this inspiring, honest, unpolished interview show with breathtakingly real conversations that go deep on setbacks and hardships that are part of the puzzle that ultimately lead to growth, discovery of inner greatness, and what makes us resilient. Grab your helmet and buckle up, people. It's going to be a bumpy ride. But what a ride it will be. Today's guest is Ronnie Eith, a banking executive with over 20 years of experience. In 2019, he reinvented his career, diving into entertainment by creating his own TV show and streaming network on ROKU TV. In 2021, Ronnie became an official candidate for mayor of Miami Beach. Ronnie believes in three main points to help Miami Beach regain its faded glory and make slight changes to improve government. The first is to reestablish law and order and make the streets of Miami Beach safer for all, followed by responsible development, caring for the environment while also allowing Miami Beach to evolve and sustain itself for the next 100 years. By focusing on these main 2 points, he believes that the third point will be the natural result, bringing the beach back.
And once I came down here, it was everything and more that I expected Miami to be. I had been working in banking forever, got into the entertainment industry completely by accident. And about 6 or 7 months ago, around March or May, I decided to throw my hat into the ring to become the mayor of Miami Beach.
Wonderful. So what made you make that decision? Why did you want to run for a mayor?
You know what it is? I guess once I got into media, no matter where I went, it's great. I mean, just yesterday I was at a hotel for happy hour on Sunday afternoon, and I met a couple of people that actually live here just for visiting friends that were staying at the hotel for Art Basel. And the one woman turned to me and said, "You know everybody," because everybody was coming up to me saying hello to me, and I'm not tooting my own horn, but everybody would say, "Oh, you're like the governor. Everybody knows you." And so the run for mayor started as a little bit of a joke where people were like, "Oh, you should run for mayor." But then once I looked at the process and looked at how relatively easy it was to file and to actually become a candidate, I said, "Wow, I can do this." And then once I dug a little bit deeper and looked at the issues and looked at how the current leadership in our local politics and our local government does absolutely nothing right, I said, no, I'm going for it. I was expecting to win. Unfortunately, I didn't, but I feel like I made a strong change in what's happening and how people really look at things, locally.
Tell me, what was the experience like for you? What was the biggest lesson that you learned going through this entire journey?
As more time elapses from the election,
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning more.
Mm-hmm.
In the week after the election, I was doing a lot of analysis and looking at the stats, at the data, the results of the election. I was going precinct by precinct. And I think after the last couple of presidential elections, it's very difficult to raise your hand and be a very loud voice in saying that there was election fraud going on. And one of the things and this is why deliberately, the day after the election, I went out, I did a video right away, I got it out there and said, "Hey, I lost because of this, this, and this. You know what? It was a learning experience, whatever." But what I've seen is that whether it's on a city level, a county level, state level, or whatever, there are a lot of irregularities in the election.
So what are some of the ways that we can reestablish law and order on the Miami Beach?
Well, I think, it starts with being able to hire more police right immediately. So we need to have state funding. We need to have federal funding to help, fortify our budget. That's first and foremost, because we have zero police presence. There were a couple of major assaults over Thanksgiving weekend, and there was a shooting yesterday, right on 14th Street, right there. So we need to have police that are there, just a stronger police presence on every single corner, right? It's called show of force. Look, I'm very well versed in this. Anybody that's heard me talk, anybody that's listened to me talk on any of the newspapers, any of the, TV interviews that I've done, podcasts or whatever, they know that this was the primary platform of my campaign. I went out last night. There was nobody out there. There were no police. There was, a decent crowd, but there were no police. I mean, it's basic common sense, So we need that. But additionally, the second part of the problem, it's a two-pronged problem. Even when the police make an arrest, the district attorney or the state's attorney ends up dropping the case. Like over 90% of the cases get dropped. And the reason is that the state's attorney, they just don't have enough manpower. So we not only need state funding to help hire police, we need to double the size of the police force, but we also need our own state prosecutors. We need 4 state prosecutors.